I love him. Yeah, he's a great guy. Awesome to have him on our team. It's been pretty much the exact opposite of what I thought. Thought he was going to be annoying, like he was annoying to me when he was in the Seahawks uniform, but he's been nothing but great. So happy to have him in the red and gold.
Have you guys had much one-on-one interaction?
Yeah, yep. Just like anybody else in the locker room. And we spent a ton of time together, so it's been nothing but positive.
Forrest mentioned a couple of years ago when he first got here in 2016 that the locker room might have been cliquey, and said now it's like night and day difference. Have you noticed that? And then having been in so many of these locker rooms,
yeah,
is that unique this year?
It is, and it's every year is different, and every team is different as far as locker room dynamics and all that. But I don't know. I can't point to one reason why it is, but it just doesn't feel like that is going on at all in our locker room. You don't try to have that, but I think just naturally sometimes that kind of takes place where certain position groups will only hang out with, the guys they're in the rooms with and stuff. But the locker room we have over there is, very, very tight. It's probably one of the, closest locker rooms I've been a part of. That goes in from last year to, now this off season and into the training camp. So, everybody's hanging out with everybody. You go into the locker room at any time and there's different position groups hanging out with, everybody, talking to everybody, and everybody seems to genuinely enjoy coming to work and seeing everybody in the morning. I'm sure that probably changed in a couple of weeks when we're in training camp and we're angry and stuff, but right now it's good.
Joe, the last 5 games of last season got people really excited. They got you excited, really. How do you carry over that enthusiasm without, taking anything for granted about 2018 and how things went?
Yeah, the way we finished last year was all positive and everything, but this is a completely new season with new challenges. I think everybody's been very focused and understands that. It's exciting to be able to build on something positive from last year and kind of carry it into the offseason. But there's no one in that locker room saying that we've arrived or anything like that at all. We know we have a ton of work to do. We were a 6-10 football team at the end of the year last year. And we were happy with the way we finished last year, but that is in the past. That season's not in anybody's mind right now, and we're just excited to get moving with another season. Maybe my 12th training camp, and I'm excited for a new challenge. Every single season's a new challenge and brings new energy and new expectations and all that. So I'm excited to get going.
In camps where the quarterback been in competition for quarterbacking camps where quarterback established like it is Sam and Jimmy. How is that different for you guys as players when you know who the quarterback is?
Yeah, it's just nice to have that familiarity in the huddle with the guys, and the first string going out there with the same guy every single team period and all that stuff, and you're not having to rotate guys, and you're not testing out different situations and all that. You just kind of get a familiarity with the guy and how he sets up and certain situations, the way he communicates to the line of scrimmage. All that stuff's positive, and I'd much rather have this situation than obviously the other ones. So we're happy to have him.
You've obviously grown close pretty quick to Mike McGlinchey, but what you've seen of him, do you feel confident in his ability to be a day one
He's
starter?
my best friend in the world. What was the question again?
What you've seen from him, just do you feel good about him and his ability to be a day one starter?
I joke around. He's like, he's my best friend in the world. Like he's my little brother. But the reason why, though, is because he's just, I don't know how to really describe it. I just see so much potential in that kid. He's got the absolute right mindset to succeed in the NFL. The guy's really, really hungry to learn every single day. He comes in meetings and asks the right questions. Really, really smart. Picks up the playbook really well. And then physically, just see him kind of come in and OTAs right when he got here and was doing really, really well. And, still making mistakes, got a long way to go, all that stuff. But just see all the potential that he has. I think he's got, nothing but great things ahead of him in his career. And just really excited to be able to have that opportunity to be a mentor to, a younger guy and kind of, teach him the things that I've learned. And, hopefully he can surpass me one day.
You guys have a lot of talented pass rushers on your schedule, Vaughn and Mac and Bosa and all those guys. Do you have a process in the offseason where you might put the tape on and do some advanced stuff on those guys?
No, I don't. You know, because honestly, I don't really ever look past. I mean, it's cliche. I know this is cliche answers, but I mean, I don't look past like the week one. Week one, I have Everson Griffin and Minnesota Vikings, so that's a really, really tall task right there. But even then, we don't even really look at those guys until later down the road. You know, we're really just kind of focused on techniques and what we can do right now in training camp and getting ourselves right before we start studying on our opponents and everything. That's because, you know, we got a lot of work to do ahead as far as just our, you know, my own techniques and getting everything situated in that before I started going into film study and all that stuff.
Are you able to form an opinion about guys able to fill in some practice like Jeremiah and Cassius at this point, or do you have to wait until you guys are in pads? And
Yeah, it's in the pads, but you do see, I mean, the athleticism and stuff in the OTAs, but it's a completely different game from, you know, what OTAs are to when you put training camp, especially up front, you know, in the offense and defensive line. In the OTAs and all that stuff with the shells on it, you really just kind of you're going through the plays and you're trying to be as physical as you can, but you're not playing, you know, obviously is what real football is. So it's not, you know, 100% of, I have an opinion formed of anybody, but you can definitely see the athleticism. And really what you look for is just like the willingness to work, you know, and those guys are, you know, John and Kyle and all the front office people have done a great job of bringing in guys that just want to work, you know, and so you see the improvement day to day and the willingness to work every single day in the OTAs, and, you know, we'll carry that through training camp. But as far as, you know, what I think about the guys and new guys and stuff, but I don't know yet, but I'm pretty impressed with what they were able to do in the off-season program.
So this, or last season, I should say, the training camp was, it was your fourth coaching staff that you dealt with in as many years. You mentioned the familiarity of having, Jimmy under center and having all that. But what's it like entering this training camp with the familiarity of the system and having the same coaching staff compared to last year?
Yeah, that's huge. And then not only just to 4 years, I think this is 8th in 12 years of just 8 coordinators. So I haven't really had that here, besides Harbaugh's era. We didn't really have years where we were going into the same season with the coordinating staff being the same. And so it's nice not having to open up a playbook and just basically learn terminology and stuff. We can really get into the nuances of a play and, knowing Kyle and how he calls plays during the games and stuff, and understand like why he's calling certain plays and how, my job affects what we're trying to do on the, a bootleg, or, why we're calling a, pass in the situation, and just kind of getting more into the nuances of, the system and all that stuff. And then that comes along not only myself, but, everybody else, and especially for a quarterback too, it's huge. I know Jimmy would say the same thing.
I asked Richard about the helmet lowering rule. He gave quite the passionate response. As a lineman, do you think that rule is going to affect you?
I mean, I hope not, because it's really hard to block anybody without using your helmet a little bit. But we haven't, like he said, we haven't really had any clarification on what exactly is going to be called and not going to be called. I'm sure, as training camp goes, we'll have the referees come in and all that stuff will be, pointed out to us. And then, preseason games, they kind of make an emphasis of over-calling a little bit, just for everybody to get used to what the new rules are. Not just that, but, everything that they're trying to do for that season, what the points of emphasis are and all that. But yeah, like he said, I think you try to change too much, and, hopefully this rule is not going to be nitpicked like people think they might be. Because, I think this is one of those things where you're going to be really changing the sport, not making the game exactly, you'll be making it, safer. But as football players, we know it's, there's some inherent risks of, playing a sport that has contact and some violence into it. And I think that's what makes football great. And I think that's what everybody really appreciates about the sport. And that's why, I think it's the most watched sport in America, is that, it's because we put our bodies on the line a little bit, and, we get physical and all that stuff. So I think, if you kind of nitpick about, it's really just going to change the sport. So I hope it doesn't, it's not something that does that, because, I love this sport and I love everything about it. But we'll see. I can't do nothing as a player, so those are decisions that are made higher up than me.